Today we're going to have another session where we're going to have a lot of different businesses we're going to talk about. And the first one, which will apply to some people, won't apply to others based upon where you're living, et cetera, but let me give you an interesting thought to think about. If you've had a lot of your friends and people who know you who have said to you, you know, you are such a great cook. Well, let me tell you something. There are many people, more than you think, that would be willing for you to come over and actually be their personal chef. Now, that's costing money, so obviously if the area that you live in is not an area where you think people have enough money to do that, there's another avenue, and that is to go over or to have cooking classes. Now, there are a lot of people. You know, I joke about my daughter, but my wife tried so hard to get her to learn how to cook. She got married and, you know, she ate the standard American diet of things that are in boxes and cans, and as they got more children, obviously that gets more and more expensive. So she decided at one point she was going to start to learn to cook, but she doesn't live around us anymore. So we get this phone call, literally from my daughter, who says, "You won't believe what I did today." And I said, "What?" She said, "I made a chicken." I went, "Yeah?" She says, "No, a real chicken." And I'm like, "A real chicken as in a fake chicken?" She says, "No, it wasn't in a box and it wasn't in a can. I started from scratch." She was so excited. And she had gone to a cooking class and she had learned how to actually cook a chicken, even though she watched it 1,000 times. Well, there are a lot of people, believe me, no matter where you live, that if you make it known that you're doing cooking classes and get some testimonials from the people before you and don't charge $1 million for it, think about it. You know, you're typically working in the evening, although that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you can do it in the day. And you're home and you're in your own house and you're doing the cooking, or there's whole companies that actually have cooking classes and someone sponsors it, almost like a Tupperware party. Only it's not a Tupperware party. You just go and then she gets all her friends and you do a cooking class. So it's something that many people are good at, and it can actually start, you know, to make you some income. How about a hobby? Do you have a hobby? Well, believe it or not, there are many people that don't have a hobby, but if they saw something that was of interest to them, they would be very interested in learning more about it. And there's also friendships that are built that way. So you could start a hobby class. Let's go somewhere else with this. You're a seamstress, or you're a tailor, and you have a sewing machine and you actually know how to use it. There are many people for their weddings and so on that are given sewing machines. They got to read the book, which most Americans won't do. They've got to learn how to use it. You could have cooking, just like you had cooking classes, you can have sewing classes. You can also, of course, be a seamstress or a tailor. Switch topics again. If you've ever washed your car, you know it's not a fun job. And it gets worse when you get into really detailing it, which means you're really super cleaning it. Any job, we've said this before, any job that people don't like to do is something that you can make money at. And you literally, instead of having people come to you or have to go to the car wash, you could go directly to their home, clean their car, do the detailing if they want. And I want you to think about this. A typical detailing job takes a couple hours and is at least $100. So let's just say you only do one a day and you do them 4 days a week. You made $400 that week. My point, it's something that people don't necessarily like to do, and it's something that you can make decent money at. Let's talk about something else that people don't like to do. In fact, most people hate to do it, and that's pulling weeds. Now, that may not sound like a glamorous job to you, and it's supposed to go along with lawn care, and certainly if you have the equipment, you can do lawn care and pulling weeds. However, you could set up a business of doing nothing but, weeding gardens, weeding flower beds and so on. And depending upon how involved and how long is what you charge. So just again, put in your head, what don't people like to do and what keeps happening that they have to keep doing it? Meaning recurring income, customers that keep coming back to you. Another area, now that, again, remember if it's lawn care, you're gonna have to get some equipment. Same with this one, power washing. Power washing is another area, depending upon where you live. For instance, we're here in Florida, so power washing is an ongoing thing, fighting constantly, with the humidity and so on. So power washing is something you can do. It's something that's obviously mobile. It's not something difficult to do or to learn. There are stores, at least in the Tampa area, that will actually rent you equipment if you so desire. But that's not something you're going to do if you're going to make it a business. But to make it easier, how about if you either add on to power washing window washing, or you just do window washing. Now, window washing is a job that everybody hates. You're outside the building, you're sometimes behind bushes, you're dealing with obviously a lot of dirt. You know what it takes to do window washing? Time, some rags, a squeegee, and the ability to say, when I leave here, would I be happy to pay $100 or more for these windows to be washed? So if you leave and you do a really good job, windows are constantly needing, remember the tracks on the bottom. It doesn't take hardly any equipment, it just takes time, and you can make very good money. Okay, so here's another one that goes along with the others we've just talked about. And this is one that people hate to do. It's dirty, you have to get up on the roof or a ladder, and that's gutter cleaning. Now, gutter cleaning is expensive. People pay some really good money to have this done. And it's an area that people, will pay good money for. Doesn't require anything but a hose and some brushes and so on, but it's something that they'll keep calling you back for if you do a good job. Same as garage and attic cleaning. It's another area that people they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to get up in their attic. And then they got to haul the stuff away. And what do they do with it? Well, there's a couple advantages to doing garage or attic cleaning in that sometimes, many times, people will give you stuff that's perfectly good that you could take to, put on Craigslist or eBay or whatever and make some good money at it. But then there's the other issue, depending upon where you live, is getting rid of it. So remember when you do your pricing to find out with your county, can I just take this stuff and stick it in the trash, in a dumpster somewhere, that maybe you're going to rent because you're going to do this as a business, or do I have to take this to the dump? And if so, you've got to add that into your costs. But it's something that you could do easily. Now, on a different level, let's talk about people that are looking for a job. Oh, by the way, let me go back for a second. When you're doing all these types of cleanings, remember, obviously you can do house cleaning, okay, as part of it. You don't just do the house, but you also do all their windows and so on, and you're just adding one thing on another. It's all a la carte, and they pay X amount of dollars. Something I should tell you about house cleaning that can really increase your income is to specialize in green cleaners. Putting that in different terms, to specialize in non-chemical. Now, 50% of Americans have some kind of allergy to chemicals. So there are some people, more than you expect, that would pay you a couple extra dollars to use green, non-chemical type cleaners. If you're not familiar with what to use or where to get them, just go online. There's a million sources to find that stuff. Okay, so let's go back to what I was about to say. So cover letters for resumes and a resume service. If you have writing ability, many people haven't a clue how to do a resume. And if you have experience in that, or you have good writing skills, you can learn these skills online. It's something you can do from your home, and it's not difficult whatsoever. All right, here's another one. Everybody likes to get a new house or move into a nice apartment, but nobody likes to pack. And people just as much hate to unpack. Call your local moving company and pretend you're moving. Find out how much they charge to pack and unpack. And think about the fact that you could do this as a service. Obviously, you could become a moving person if that's good for you. But I'll tell you, it's something that people will love you to do, and it's something that anybody can do. Let's keep going. Pool services. If you're in an area where a lot of people have pools, you got a lot of people cleaning pools and doing pool services. You can be just one more of those people. It's all about doing a good job, having a great attitude, and you can do it. It's not that difficult. painting houses, painting rooms. If you're artistic, obviously you could go for murals and everything else. There's all kinds of stencils you can do, but painting a house, painting rooms, you could come to my house any day and I would rather build my house than paint a room in it. But there's lots of people that you can do painting for. If you're handy, you, how do I say this? Again, do the same thing. Go online and find out what it costs to get somebody to come in and customize a closet, meaning putting shelves in, putting hanging areas. You will be shocked at how much money it costs. And if you've got the ability to do something like that, believe me, you could charge way less than these other companies and make a really nice living doing it. I talked to you just a moment ago about Craigslist, an amazing place. It costs nothing to advertise on. You can do, just like people have done, it's the same as eBay, only it's local and you don't have to ship. You find things, get up early in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, be the first people out. When I say early in the morning, like 7 in the morning, be out at the 8 o'clock in the morning and maybe in your area. Be out on the people that are on Craigslist that are advertising. I know near where I live and just about everywhere I see around here, you literally see house sales, garage sales, neighborhood sales. People have all kinds of stuff that's really, really good. I remember being at a flea market up in Pennsylvania and having to sell some stuff. Well, I said to my wife, let's go around 10. And she said, are you kidding? It's over by 10. I said, no, it's open till 2. She says, you don't understand. She says, when we get there at 6 in the morning, now this is a flea market. This isn't like a garage sale. We get there at 6 in the morning. You know who's going to buy more stuff than anyone in the first hour or so? Is all the vendors walk up and down looking for people like us who are just cleaning out their attic or their garage. They've got a fan, they've got this, they've got that. They just want to get rid of it. They charge $5. That day, I saw our stuff all over the flea market at 2 and 3 and 4 times what we sold it for. And these are people that do this for a living. So Craigslist, let me tell you, it's an amazing, amazing thing. It's just another one, just like eBay, just without the shipping. How about Uber? Has Uber come into your area yet? But Uber is nothing more than a fancy driver service. And let me tell you, there are a whole lot of people, I've talked about this at other times, that need people to drive them places, pick them up. It doesn't matter where it is, what it is. Once you become known as a reliable driver, you will have plenty of business from the same people, then their friends, and then their friends. Think about all the places that have lots of older people living in them. Think about places that have blind people. There's just, it's everywhere. You just have to let people know that you're doing it. And here's a very, very, very niche area. And it's funny because we've got a guy in our congregation who's almost 70, and he is a Christmas light installer. And he is very busy the last couple months of the year. He brings pictures into us. He's up in a tree, okay? And he's hanging lights in a tree. The guy's almost 70. So for those of you that say, oh, I'm too old for that, all right, so don't do trees. If you can still climb a ladder and you can put the hooks up there and do it, and if you do a good job putting them up, they're going to have you come and take them down. And the next year, they're going to do it again, and their neighbors are going to have you do it, and so on. So that's a short term. We'll continue on another video. Lots more to come. Have a blessed day.